good.
You
Is
sure?
this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Everybody butchers your name, I'd imagine. Alicia. It's Alicia.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to ask you this, but I feel like I have to because it was in the paper again today. This thing with you and Alanis Morissette. Do you guys have like a beef or something?
No.
What's the story? I read that like you're a fan of her music, right?
Yeah, well, when I guess it was after Clueless, I was friends with Guy.
Right.
And
Guy Oseary.
Guy Oseary.
Yeah, from Maverick Records.
And I'm still friends with Guy, but at the time, he introduced me to Alanis Morissette music. And
Right, he signed her.
And it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. It was like, you know, I don't remember, I think it was 18
This
or
is
19.
like Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah, and I
Right.
was freaking out. It just became the theme of my everyday life. I could not stop
Because
playing
you're an
it.
angry woman and you can relate to the music.
Not so much.
Like every other angry woman. No, go ahead.
No, it was just, I don't know, it was great.
Right.
And so I wrote her a letter just telling her how beautiful I thought she was and how, you know, awesome I thought she was.
I wrote that same letter, by the way.
You did, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Did she write back? Did she call? I mean,
No. But I have a picture of her and I...
Well, why are they writing about that now? It's like all over the New York newspapers.
so lame. I don't know. Like,
haven't you done anything like, you know,
Yeah.
interesting since that?
it's so
to write about?
old. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. All right. Good. Well, I wanted to ask about it. The last time I saw Alicia was in Ireland. People always ask me what's my greatest sort of musical experience. And last August, I brought my mom, and we're from Ireland.
You brought your mom?
Yeah, I brought my mom, and we went to Ireland.
It's nice.
Listen. Yeah, your false sympathy buys you a lot. Good way to pick up chicks. Bring mom. My mom's like my pimp, by the way. Never mind. That's a whole other story. Way to go, mom. Anyway, so I brought my mom and went to Ireland, and you were there.
Yeah.
It was U2. It was at Slane Castle, which is a historic place on a lot of levels for U2 to play at in Ireland.
Yeah.
That's where they recorded The Unforgettable Fire, actually. Had a Fire, that's where they got the album title from. And I saw you backstage. You were with Woody Harrelson. You guys are pally, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but also I was right in front of you, like, I remember you went like this, you like, did that to my hair. It was really sweet.
I did?
Honestly, like that's your little sister.
That's a real sexy move, guys.
I liked it. That was a
When
good
you're in the
one.
pit, just rub the chick's hair. She's
Right.
like, oh, yeah, who's that?
No, but it
But did you like the show? Was
It
that
was
a movie weekend for
amazing.
you musically like it was me? I mean, Coldplay, the Chili Peppers.
Coldplay. Oh my God,
Right.
they were amazing, and you too, and the Chili Peppers. The Chili Peppers did this thing where they, at one point, they had the whole they were doing that thing where
The
they throw
helicopter with the shirts.
The shirts, yes. Everybody there was doing it. It was beautiful, and we were watching from the stage at that point, so you just saw this ocean of shirts flying around.
Well, here's the difference. In America, you know, we're pretty jaded, you know, our fans musically. But over there, it was so... First of all, when I landed in Ireland with my mom, in fact, I saw Charlize Theron was there with her mom. It was like Mom's Day or something. But on the front page of the paper in Shannon, where we had landed, Bono's father had passed away.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. Slane Castle, they hadn't played it since they opened for Thin Lizzy, like in the 70s. And geographically, Slane Castle is this whole place from back in the day. That was the dividing line, the turmoil between, you know, the Catholics and Protestants. So there's all this sort of stuff, and when Bono came out, I mean, it was just like, forget it. And the fans reacted to that so well. We just don't do that here.
Yeah, it was amazing that he played that day.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine?
Angel. Anyway, I had a blast that weekend.
I love him, and we went there that's why we flew out there to go see them.
Do you and Woody travel a lot together?
We traveled together. We traveled to Peru, the Amazon River together. That was amazing. We were in Prague together.
Right.
And we
What is it
hung
like
out
in
Hawaii,
Peru with Woody
you know.
Harrelson? I don't know. What's that all about?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Awesome. That was the greatest trip. That's
Right.
we met because he called and said, "Do you want to come?" Or I called him, you know, I really liked him, and I was really respectful of what he did and
Right.
his life.
And he's like, hey, let's go to Peru?
And he said, "Let's go to Peru." So I went. Isn't that great?
That's awesome. How long is the show? I could ask you 50 more questions, but I'll stop
Yeah,
now.
great.
I know you're from San Francisco, I think it's originally the Bay Area, at least. And then you're in LA, but how do you like New York? You're here now doing The Graduate, the play.
I'm
So you're
having
living
so
here.
much fun.
You don't miss LA?
I thought I was going to really miss home, and I miss specific things about home, friends, babies, dogs, but
Not your babies, just babies in general.
my friend's baby.
Okay.
But
I miss like the weather and golf. And babies.
well, you know, he's just.
But New York is different than
New
LA in a
York's
lot of ways, right? It's just very
amazing.
cultural, and now you're doing theater. Do you find that you feel a bit more theatrical out here and walking the streets? It's a
I
little
feel
more arty?
like I am Sex in the City. You know, I feel like it's fun. You get to walk around and feel all spunky all the time, you
Right.
know, and be an independent woman and play around. And I
Right.
don't mean with boys necessarily. I just mean play around.
Yeah, talk slower.
Like, yeah. No, like
But you feel
the
alive,
street,
right?
completely alive. New York, I want to live here now. I want to be
Why
here
don't you?
all
Why
the
don't you
time.
just move here?
Well, because I have a really lovely yellow house in LA that I love. It would be so hard to just say goodbye to the yellow house and move to New York. But I will, you know, I put a
You
lot
can
of
pack
love
up
into
and
it.
run to Peru, no problem.
Yeah.
But moving to
Well,
New
for
York's
a period of time. I'm going to be booked by a coastal.
Right.
That's my idea. Because New York, the subways, the people here are on
You can't
fire.
take the subways here. Do you just run out? Do you do the
I
normal
take the
stuff here in New
subways
York?
all the time.
Yeah, and do people just stop and bother you? And harass you?
Sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's usually cool. That's what's so cool about New York. Everybody's got their own thing going on. In LA, everybody's got an agenda, so it's very sort of, people are very different in LA.
Right, you know what seems like they do in LA a lot? Have lunch.
Yeah.
Just all day long, right down
Yeah.
Sunset.
Which isn't
They have
bad.
lunch
That's
constantly.
not
That's all
bad.
they're doing. They're on the cell phone, they have lunch
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
And they're chain smoking. They're worried about something, getting apart. or
There's
something.
lots of worry, and in New York, people are just happy doing what they do. There's more real people. You know, the guy who works at the Daly,
he's
and
proud
that's
of
what he
that,
does.
right.
He's not trying to be an actor.
Right.
You know, whereas like everybody in LA is going to be an actor, make
Right.
money, or do something make a lot of money.
Right.
And so that's a hard energy to live around. Here, I like Washington Park. I love Washington.
So I don't understand. You love it here. Why don't you just move here? Is it because you have so many dogs?
Yeah,
How many dogs do you have?
I have some dogs.
You have a lot of dogs.
I have a lot of dogs where I could not have them in New York
Do
City.
you have big dogs like Snoop Dogg, like
They're
the
all
Rottweilers?
big. Yeah. Full blood. They're
I
all.
watch Cribs, and they're all penned up, and it's crazy
No,
energy.
no,
Do you
no.
have like that? Do you have attack dogs?
Well, no, that they've all been rescued from some crazy scenario or another where they were gonna,
Sure.
be put to sleep or something. So they're.
So you have a kennel of dogs that you say.
No, they sleep on my bed. They follow me around the house. They're
But
just
Alicia, this all
amazing.
leads to bring. You could still bring the dogs to New
No,
York.
I couldn't.
You can't.
Because one of them hates the other two, and her name's Butterfly, and if I brought Butterfly to New York, I'd have to have a private apartment for Butterfly.
All right, I'm gonna move on. You're not kidding either, right?
No.
You're letting the personality
You have to
conflicts of
come
your
over and
dogs
see.
ruin your moving to New York. New York, what I love most is the music scene. I know you went to see one of your favorite bands was Spearhead, right?
Yeah, it was so cool. Well, this is horrible. I went to see Spearhead, and they are really amazing, a band. And I went, and all of a sudden, I'm standing. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. I'm just thinking about your dog.
Okay, so I'm standing outside of Spearhead trying to get in, and the guy, perfect New York scenario, the guy was like this big, burly guy, angry.
The bouncer.
Bouncer was
Right.
not going to let me in. And I were like, why can't we come in? We're
Right.
cute. Like, we just want to come in. It's not a big deal. And they're
Right.
like, it's late.
Playing inside?
You
and
can
it's-
see them through the cracks.
Okay, so
You
it's
can-
not over.
It's not over, and they're playing, and it's amazing. And we're jumping up and down outside. We're just so the happiest people in the world wanting to be inside. And
Right.
he would not let us in, and then we just stood the whole time outside watching them from outside.
And you didn't once pull like the do you know who I am sort of vibe?
We
or-
tried it with this other guy, but it didn't work.
Why? You
Isn't it horrible?
never saw Clueless or anything like that?
He was like, I can't do anything about this guy. The guy wanted to let us in. The
Right.
guy, when he understood, that
Now,
whatever.
why didn't the Post write about that rather than this Alanis thing from 10 years ago? We got to talk.
They're
We'll take a
boring.
quick break. Alicia Silverstone is here. We'll talk about that. And the music of Goldfinger coming up.
Underneath the
And we're back. Welcome back to Last Call. Goldfinger will play in a little bit. Alicia Silverstone is here. I don't want to get into the whole animal activism thing because it would just be like crazy. We don't have enough time, but it's obviously something that's very important to you. And I know that recently you went to Africa.
Yeah, not so recently, but I went like 4 years ago to Africa, and it was amazing. Is that recent? What was funny
No, it's
about
not
that?
at all. It's probably here's like, dude, that was so long ago.
It's long
Hey,
ago,
have you been back since? It was the last time you were in
No,
Africa.
I really want to go
Hey, was
again.
Woody there?
Woody wasn't there. I didn't know Woody yet.
Oh, okay,
I met
okay.
him in the Amazon River. These are great places to go. Everybody should
You have
go
a
to
trippy
Africa.
story. Like, your story is just crazy. People are like, maybe I haven't seen Alicia Silverstone in quite some time. Like, what's she been up to? Where's she been? You've been in Peru and in Africa.
Hanging out with
and-
the elephants.
Right, so what's wrong with the elephants?
Oh, well, I don't know what's happening now because, things change, but at the time, they had floppy trunk, these elephants had floppy trunk syndrome, so
They had floppy trunk syndrome?
that's what we were calling it.
I thought you said sloppy drunk syndrome.
Yeah.
But that's my friend's problem,
Yeah,
not the elephant
yeah.
problem. So,
Well,
no, you went there in an effort to what? To
To
help?
try and kind of document, there's a documentary we made on Wildlife Vet, and it was really cool, and Just kind of showing what you could do to help and how, just to bring attention to the issue.
And so what is wrong with the trunk in
Well,
particular?
they use their digits. The end of their trunk is a digit, and they use it to eat. And the thing is getting paralyzed so that they can't eat, so they're having to eat like that, and then that's causing them to starve to death. So the people who live
What's wrong with the digit? Why can't they pick things up anymore?
paralyzed, that's what they're trying to figure out. What's wrong?
Through just sort of evolutionary process that something's going on?
No, something happened. They think possibly when they built a dam in the 50s that the dam caused the plants mode, and
Right.
were like, ah, I'm going to kill anything that comes near me or eats me.
Good plan.
So the plants did this, and they were poisoning the elephants.
So Lisa, you go over there to Africa, and what are you going to do? You get off the plane, you go to like the group, and you get into the jungle, and what
We were in
you
the
come
jungle.
upon an elephant.
We came upon an elephant one time.
And what do you you have a kid? Are you going to give it a shot? Are you going to hug it, kiss
we
it?
did that. I was going to bring you pictures. I forgot. We did both of those things. One, we were walking through the bush, just hanging out, and all of a sudden, this elephant's right there, and you're like, ah, and the one thing, and he's so close.
And do you notice that this elephant that you're upon in the bush as you're walking is one of the ones where the digit's not working?
No, he's cool. He doesn't have the disease. So he's standing there, and he sees us, and he's he's as afraid as we are, because he could potentially charge us, and he's so close. He's like from here to the end of that wall.
But you really could outrun an elephant.
No, you really couldn't. And
no, but you could you could zigzag, like there's no way.
No.
Because it
you
can't
run,
turn around.
You're down. So all you can do in that situation is you have to stand there
Show of
and
hands,
scream.
can you outrun an elephant, or am I crazy? Right, guys? Like
You cannot!
If someone had a gun, you'd be like, you just have to zigzag. A bear, no. An elephant, no problem. I mean,
just because he's big?
no, because if you run in a straight line as fast as you can, I believe you that an elephant could catch up to you. But if you just cruise in a zigzag, no way. In fact, you could run in a circle.
So scatter. Everybody scatter. I don't know what you do.
You're pissing me off. I don't care.
I don't know what you
So now what happens? You go there, and that elephant was all right.
You have to make a bunch of noise, and you run away.
Okay.
And then he's fine.
But did you help the elephants when you were in Africa, or did you?
Yeah, we made this documentary, and that
Okay,
was
that
really
was
all
you're
we
making the
did at the
documentary.
time.
Okay, good. I want to talk about The Graduate. It's on Broadway. Alicia's in her first Broadway play, right?
Did we just have our first fight?
No. Are you high? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Because you're like, wow, we were in the bush. And the thing has... It's late. There's stoners right now just dying laughing. I'm totally kidding. This is your first Broadway show, right?
Yes, it's so amazing.
And I heard, what happened to your very first performance on Broadway, your first time doing theater? You're doing The Graduate, which is a classic piece of work.
Yeah.
You never saw the movie?
No.
You gotta be kidding me, right?
I saw it when I was like 14, but I don't really remember
Right,
it.
so what happened your first night? You were nervous.
I was hysterical. I was so nauseous. Everybody after the first show was really happy and feeling very... Everybody was out having a drink, and Kathleen Turner's in it, and she took us all out, sort of arranged for us all to have dinner together. It was so civilized and lovely, and I show up, and I'm just nauseous. I mean, I'd puke.
Because you're nervous from this whole experience being on Broadway. And...
Yeah. Well, the first night from the show, it was... I don't even remember it. I feel like I must have been paralyzed or something. And, that night, every time they'd say... Because they have this, thing over, what do you call it? A monitor where it says... 30 minutes,
It's giving you your cue for when you're on.
for when you're going on. And I was hysterical. Every time they said, 5 minutes, I just start screaming, as loud as I could.
It's getting closer and closer for your first performance. So then you jump out on stage, you're confronted with the audience, it's your first time out there, and what took over? Just your ability to act, and you just nailed it? And...
I don't even know what I did. I don't remember. But I know that now I'm fine.
Right.
Now I'm so relaxed, and I have so much fun out there.
And Kathleen Turner gets naked every night?
Yes, she does.
What's that all about?
She does.
The male turnout's going to be huge from now on.
Everybody's naked in the show.
You're not naked in the show, though.
Partial.
Really? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm in underwear and a bra. And to me, that's nudity. So,
All right. We're not going to applaud right now.
And Jason Biggs, who's in the show, too, although he's not in it right now, but he'll be back. He is always in his underwear. So that's that's worth going to see.
No, definitely not.
Maybe right, maybe not.
So if people are in New York, you leave September 1st, which is pretty quick here. So it's at the Plymouth Theater. And then after that, it'll go on, and someone else will take your part. Who takes your part when you leave?
My understudy, Kelly Overton, is going to be Elaine Robinson when I leave, yeah.
She doesn't. Okay. How does she look in panties and bras?
I haven't seen, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
Okay, good. Well, it was nice to have you here. Are you planning any more crazy trips soon?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go to Ireland again.
We'll come back when you do.
Okay.
Say hi to Woody for us.
Alicia Silverstone, all right. We'll be right back with Goldfinger right after this.